In my first Regulation H video, I rattled off a number of team concepts that I might want to try in this format. And one of them was just to build something around Superior, because Superior is my favorite starter. When the Indigo Disc brought back every starter Pokemon from past generations, I think a lot of players were excited to try out their particular favorite one. And with the recent announcement of Reg H and the power level dropping a little bit in the format, I've seen a few people saying, oh, they want to see what they can do with Blaziken or with Typhlosion or whatever it might be. Superior has been on my radar since Indigo Disc Pokemon became legal in Regulation F, and I did try for a while to make a Superior team at that time, but I had trouble finding one that really worked, and I didn't even really ever attempt it in Reg G, but I'm going to take inspiration from others and try to build around my favorite starter in Reg H. I've actually already made the team, but before I reveal it, I'm going to walk through a little bit of the thought process. I feel like I want to experiment with doing more of that kind of thing on the channel. So obviously we start with Superior, and we want Contrary, we want Leaf Storm. I've never been 100% sold on Terra Stellar Superior, but I think it's worth a go. Not even so much because of the boosts from Terra Blast, although that potentially is interesting, but because I think that in a format like this, there are a lot of threatening Pokemon that are made more dangerous by their Terra types, and honestly just the super effective coverage into a Terrasilize or Chaladon or Annihilate or Blood Moon or Saluna or whatever it might be a way to overcome offensive pressure from an opponent. So, also, I've just never really tried it before, so I do want to give Terra Stellar Terra Blast a go, and at this point I thought, okay, I'll figure out the rest later. Now, I figured Superior is fairly fast, but not especially fast. I probably want to pair it with a Tailwind setter, and I probably want to build out a Fire, Water, Grass core. So my first thought for a Fire type was Talonflame. With Tornadus, of course, not legal in this format, Talonflame almost certainly has a claim to being one of the best Tailwind setters. And then I thought for the Water type, Superior has to be kind of afraid of Incineroar, so maybe I run Empoleon with Competitive, and then Empoleon gets boosted by Incineroar's Intimidate, and, oh, didn't mean to click on that, but I can even consider, like, Water Pledge, Grass Pledge, set up the Swamp, and then maybe I don't even need the Tailwind so much anymore. Maybe I can run some kind of relatively fast special attacking fire type, like a Delphox or a Typhlosion, and I can build out a pledge team. That was my thought for a little while, and then I didn't really like it. I may want to make a pledge team in this format. There are so many teams that run 3 starters that a pledge team kind of feels like a natural thing to experiment with, but it seems a little gimmicky for the Superior team. So, okay, back to square one, and actually I'm not that sold on Empoleon anymore. Empoleon is an interesting Pokemon, but it's not especially strong. What about Primarina for the Water type? Primarina also handles Incineroar pretty well. It doesn't get a competitive boost from it, but on the other hand, it resists Knockoff and a possible Snarl. And Incineroar still really doesn't want to take a Liquid Voice, boosted Hyper Voice, or even a Moonblast from something as strong as Primarina. And at this point, I'm not that sold on Talonflame anymore. I think that I might be better off running my own Incineroar to cover things like opposing Rillaboom, or I was going to say Amoonguss. I guess Talonflame kind of covers those things as well, but also I really like Incineroar in this format because Trick Room, Sun Room, Psy Spam teams are, at least here at the early end, somewhat popular, and I think Incineroar is a very strong tool into those. We saw in my first Reg H video, which showed my very first Reg H battles, how strong Snarl and Incineroar could be into those kinds of teams, and I think that feels somewhat more solid than Talonflame here. Up next, I kind of feel like I want a fighting type, and the reason is I want to have, I'm not running Rillaboom, and I'm not running Palafin. Primarina is very strong, but it does have an exploitable speed tier. It doesn't have priority. I want something threatening into the likes of Blood Moon or Saluna is the main thing I was thinking of. Maybe our Chaladon to an extent as well. So I feel like a fighting type is probably a good idea, and the clear best fighting type in the format right now is Annihilate. It also gives me another sort of slower setup mode that I can run where Superior is situationally not as useful. I feel like Superior threatening massive damage and rapid setup with Contrary Leaf Storm can give Annihilate room to set up, but also I have another mode in Bulk Up Annihilate with Defiant, of course, that I can work toward if Superior is for some reason shut down, and Annihilate can cover some of the things that threaten Superior. From there, my first thought was to pair it with Clefairy. Friend Guard, Redirection, Healing, something that Superior and Primarina can benefit from as well. But somewhere along the way I remembered why Mouse Ape is good with the beat up setup into Rage Fist, so let's run Mouse Hold with Annihilate, and Mouse Hold support is still good for Superior and Primarina. And then in the last slot, I still wanted a Tailwind setter, so I looked at the full list of those in this format. I thought for a while about Corviknight, and I think Corviknight is interesting and might well have been worthwhile to bring. Giving some extra bulk and defensive backbone to this team, Steel typing, another possible setup option with Iron Defense if I want to go that route, and of course, I guess Tailwind. But I think what I'm going to try, at least at first, is Illumise, or Illumise, whatever this thing's name is. Because not only does it get Tailwind support, it can set Rain Dance and buff Primarina's Hyper Voice, and also turn off the Sun from a Torkoal, which I think is a threat to this team still. It can use Encore to disrupt an opponent. It can use Struggle Bug to make it even harder to set up some Trick Room special attack spam, which I do think I'm a little vulnerable to, even with the Incineroar here, especially since I have Annihilate as one of my main modes. And then at that point, pretty much tapped out a full moveset, but there are other options that I can run on this bug if I want to. I don't know, it at least seems worth a shot. So these are the initial ideas, and like I said, I've already built the full team. I'm just going to cut to that now, so we'll fade that in, right now. And here it is. Superior, I don't really feel like it needs Glare on this team. Maybe I'll think differently later, but I like Dragon Pulse for giving it some amount of coverage into, before it terastallizes. I originally intended to run a bulkier set, and then I kept rethinking what speed tier I wanted it to hit. This is faster than Mouse Hold. I don't know if that's really necessary, but that's what we're going with for now. And then I don't really want a Life Orb when it's already kind of frail, so I've gone with Miracle Seed to boost its Leaf Storm damage. Incineroar is pretty much the same set I ran in my last video, with the safety goggles and the Snarl and everything, except I changed his Terra type to Water. I don't think Terra Ghost was really doing that much for me on that last team. And I think the resistances from water could be more valuable. Primarina is running Terra Grass so that it can have some tool into Amoonguss, so that I don't rely entirely on these two to deal with Amoonguss, especially since Superior is not doing that much to it. And if it has Clear Smog, then Superior is flat out kind of a liability against it. So the extra insurance of Terra Grass I think is good to have. Hyper Voice and Moonblast are pretty obvious. The Throat Spray, of course, will give it a boost after a Hyper Voice, and then Icy Wind is a little bit more coverage and a little bit of speed control. Got a pretty straightforward Bulk Up Annihilate set here. I've liked Terra Fairy on it in the past, and on paper it seems pretty strong. I don't know that there's very much in this meta right now that punishes the Fairy typing, compared to something like Water, which is vulnerable at least to like opposing Rillaboom. I think Fairy feels a little more solid on paper. Looks a little more solid on paper. We'll see how it goes. Mouse Hold, again with the Terra Grass as an emergency button into Amoonguss, with pretty typical moves. Population Bomb is not going to do a huge amount without Technician, but hey, it's non-zero damage. And then I have gone with exactly the 4 moves that I talked about on Illumise. I've got the Focus Sash, I've got Terra Ghost because I don't have Protect on this, so it can avoid a Fake Out in a pinch. Tailwind, Encore, Rain Dance, Struggle Bug. I kind of want Charm and I kind of want Protect, but I only gets room for 4 moves, so we'll see how this goes. And since it's not a very bulky Pokemon and I'm running the Sash on it, I figured I'd just give it a bunch of special attack EVs, so it'll actually do some damage with the Struggle Bug, even though that's not a strong attack. But yeah, it's a bit of a silly looking team, but we'll play some games and we'll give it a go. Let's see what happens. Starting right now. High hopes for Superior. Alright, and immediately we get an Annihilate and a Blood Moon Ursaluna in the very first game. I'm recording this still pretty early in the format, but people are definitely figuring out what the threats are. How do I play this? I mean, Superior is not very good into Incineroar or Amoonguss, but otherwise it's reasonable. They're going to want to set Trick Room. I don't really have tools for that, except I have Snarl, Struggle Bug. So I can get, if I lead those into Blood Moon or Ursaluna, I can get -2 right away. On the other hand, I can also really enable their Annihilate to get going in a way that I don't especially want to see. I could lead my Annihilate. It's not the worst idea. It's not the best idea. They have potentially 2 Intimidate users. I think Mouse Ape lead is okay here. Do I bring Incineroar? Let's bring Primarina and Superior. And let's see if we can just overpower them if the Mouse Ape mode doesn't work out. They lead their own ape. What is to stop me from just beat up Rage Fist into that? I guess it probably protects, and that's what's to stop me. So what if I bulk up and beat up this turn? Get my ape nice and strong, or they could be running Scarf Final Gambit. Alright. Well, so much for that. They get their Trick Room up. I get Annihilate to +1, which is hopefully worth something here. I'm gonna go Primarina because it's bulkier than Superior, and yeah, I was pretty sure this was coming in. But being bulkier is not gonna save me, is it? Because they're just gonna instruct. They're just gonna, like, Hyper Voice Instruct or something like that. But I think I just have to attack into this thing. I mean, if it doesn't work out, then I lose. Life Orb. Okay. The reason I didn't protect there to stall a turn is that I thought maybe it'd be a not a Hyper Voice set, a Throat Spray set. And I didn't want to let it get the setup before I did any damage to it. We overcame the bear, but it cost us Primarina, and now this gets in. I mean, it is going to give me a Defiant boost, so that's not nothing. I'm just going to go right for a Rage Fist, or by which I mean a Drain Punch, into the Incineroar and protect Superior. They can't fake out Annihilate. They do try to fake out Superior. I actually thought they'd go for something else into Annihilate there. They could have gotten rid of it. They missed their chance. And alright, Superior team, not very convincingly, takes its first game, but a win's a win. We got a Dragapult and a Clefable, and not one of my absolute favorite Pokemon, but one of sort of the silly little guys that I appreciate, that I don't maybe think about and experiment with as often as I should. The Sneasler. Very funny Pokemon. I'm a fan. What do I do into this? I kind of like Mouse Ape again. Is the Clefable a threat to that? I don't really know. I don't feel like I need Illumise Tailwind stuff here. I'm tempted to just bring the same 4 Pokemon again. On the other hand, Superior is not really that good here, is it? It's good into the Primarina, but not much else. I could bring Mouse Ape with Incineroar and Primarina, and then potentially I'm vulnerable to their Primarina. Actually, that is very weak to their Primarina, isn't it? Maybe I don't want to do that. What if I drop the mouse and just bring the ape? Annihilate, Incineroar, Primarina, Superior, and we'll see if this is a mode that makes any sense at all. I mean, I think I like this lead. Bulk up should be pretty doable. They can't fake out my Ghost type. Rillaboom is intimidated. I can just go... They might fake out Incineroar, but I'm just going to try to get a knockoff into their Dragapult. Be pretty good if that connects. I'm not exactly afraid of the Rillaboom this turn. The Dragapult could be scary, but the only way that it can be especially threatening right off the bat this turn is if it goes for Phantom Force. And unless it is Power Herb, which I would think is unlikely, then I could just Terrasilize Annihilate next turn. Oh, okay, they just double targeted Annihilate, and actually, that's not great for me. They did a lot of damage to it. But I get rid of the Dragapult. It was banded, wow. Get rid of the Dragapult, and I can do what here? Actually, not in a very good position, am I? I can protect Annihilate. And I'm gonna go for... No, I think I should preserve Incineroar and not go for a parting shot. So I think I should just hard switch into Superior. Okay. Okay. I mean, I still feel like I'm just delaying the inevitable with Annihilate, but... Now I have 2 threats on the field. That's a lot better than 0 threats. Let's just Rage Fist and Leaf Storm into Primarina. Actually, this is a bad play if they protect Primarina, but they just go Terra Fairy. They take the Leaf Storm, but it does a lot. I don't lose Annihilate just yet, actually. No, it's faster than Primarina, so Annihilate stays alive and gets rid of the Primarina. And preserving Incineroar, I was going to say might pay off here, but actually not with the Sneasler coming in. I mean, Intimidate into Sneasler is good, but Sneasler is actually a massive threat to my team the rest of the way. Apart from Incineroar being able to intimidate it, I'm going to protect for some recovery. And actually, I'm going to protect Superior as well. We can scout what the opponent does. The Rillaboom now is unable to get rid of any Intimidate drops, which is nice. How much did the last Woodhammer do to Annihilate? Ooh. Too much. It did too much. What do I do here? This will be the last turn of Grassy Terrain, and I can't get it back up. So Annihilate's recovery is kind of tapping out at this point. Let's swap Annihilate out to Incineroar. And just go for a Dragon Pulse into the Sneasler. Dire Claw isn't that strong an attack. We do hold on. Get poisoned, so Superior is going to go down here. But I got some damage on the Sneasler. Oh, the Grassy Terrain is still up, so Superior still does go down here. Alright. I can get a Fake Out into somebody. And they don't have the Grassy Terrain boost anymore. So, can I Fake Out Rage Fist into Sneasler? Will Annihilate survive to get the Rage Fist off? Will they protect Sneasler? That wouldn't be good for me if they protect Sneasler. I still haven't Terra'd though, have I? So I can Terra Grass Primarina. Of course, the problem is that it stays weak to poison. It would be good into the Rillaboom, but not into the Sneasler. So I really hope they let me get rid of the Sneasler here. Oh, they just might. No, Annihilate doesn't take the Woodhammer. That's unfortunate. Okay, well... Here's another case where Flare Blitz would be good on Incineroar. But what I can do is just Parting Shot and Protect, and then, hey, that weakens Sneasler a little bit. As ultimately, I need Primarina to Terra Grass and take a Dire Claw. And so this is the moment of truth for that. I'll go Hyper Voice to get the boost. Does a lot, and it poisons. That's bad. That poison might be, yeah. Well, no. No, because we do get rid of Sneasler here, and then the Rillaboom can't beat both of my Pokemon, so yep, GG to that opponent. Just Knock Off and Icy Wind. Actually, Moonblast was technically better, but it doesn't matter. They knock Primarina out, and they lose the Rillaboom, and that's the game. So far, so good. Moonblast might not have been the call, although it's hard to say after 2 battles. Baxcalibur, Meowscarada, Melodic, Incineroar, Farigiraf, and Whimsicott. And once again, Superior is running into trouble with Leaf Storm just not being that strong into a lot of the meta. Excalibur, Incineroar being everywhere is an issue. I don't think Meowscarada is going to be a big part of the meta. Maybe it'll have a role to play, but It also is a Leaf Storm resist, and if they didn't have it, they'd probably have Rillaboom, or on some teams, Amoonguss. So, yeah, Serperior. I want to use my favorite starter, and here I am doing that, but there might be a ceiling to what Serperior can do in this meta. Primarina looks pretty good in this game, so does Incineroar. Mouse Ape stuff looks alright, so let's just do Mouse Ape stuff with Primarina and Incineroar. We'll leave Serperior on the bench this game, even though it's my strongest thing into the Melodic. It's not like Primarina is bad into that. Okay, and... they're probably going to just try to go for a KO here, right? So as much as I'd like to get the beat up into Annihilate, I think I have to click Follow Me to make sure Annihilate gets set up. Switcheroo. Sticky Barb. Actually didn't get a KO, but how much does Sticky Barb do? Yeah, enough. Okay, they did get a KO. But I get Primarina in here, and the Baxcalibur is vulnerable. I can go for another Bulk Up. And I feel like the Baxcalibur has to protect or switch out, so I'm just going to click Hyper Voice and get my boost. Yep. They have Energy Ball on the Whimsicott. That's good tech. It's going to be hard for me to deal with. But Annihilate is at +2 now, which is pretty good. I think I want to Terra Grass here and get some damage off with Primarina. Into what? Melodic? Getting rid of Melodic is a good idea. Rage Fist isn't boosted yet, so we'll go for a Drain Punch into it, and I will Terra Grass and Moonblast. Haze. Ah, they got me. Well, I'll just keep trying to set up, and I'm pressuring the Melodic enough that they can't click Haze forever. Oh. Well, until I lose Primarina here. They have Moonblast and Energy Ball on the Whimsicott, and Switcheroo. That's a wild Whimsicott set. Chip the Melodic some more, and I'll protect Primarina. I really am not eager to have to bring Incineroar in, but that does seem to be where this is headed. Although, actually, the Melodic doesn't take another hit, so I feel like I can just Drain Punch and switch to Incineroar here. Preserve Primarina in the hope that I can do something later, even if it's just a sack. That Moonblast did a lot. Ah, and they finally go for an attack just as I give them the boost, and they get the burn. Yeah, sometimes it's just not my game, huh? Well, that's how it is. And I think they, yeah, I don't think we win this one. But we'll play it out, at least for now. Tired of this thing hazing. But now they get the Baxcalibur back in. Drain Punch still does some damage at +1. But I haven't even seen their fourth Pokemon yet. There's no way that this one's gonna work out. Annihilate goes down here, and yeah, it's done. Incineroar and Primarina at about 12% each. Exactly 12% each are not pulling this back. Well, they got me. It happens. What's next? Let's see. Maybe the problem was that I didn't bring Serperior. This is the Serperior video. What am I doing? Okay, we got Basculegion Rain with Salamence and Archaludon. Just a team of threats. And there's something kind of aesthetically pleasing about 2 water types, 2 flying types, 2 dragon types, 2 grass types. They know what this person knows what they need to work with here. I like Annihilate here again with Mousehold. I feel like Incineroar is, even though it's a rain team, Incineroar is kind of important into most of these. And I'll try to see Why are there two different people saying good luck and or have fun? A spectator came in and said good luck, and then my opponent said good luck, have fun. Do you think they knew that was a spectator? Maybe they didn't notice. I'll bring Primarina. Yeah, Illumise is, there's just not any game where it feels worthwhile to bring it. I don't think it was the call. I don't know if Corviknight would be better, though. Bulk up. Probably take an Electro Shot, right? The problem is, we take an Electro Shot and a Hurricane, if that's what they go for. So I think I want to follow me. Ooh, they went for Helping Hand, and I assume Electro Shot. Yeah. That's just gonna knock Mouse Hold right out. No, they have Stalwart. So, Follow Me did nothing. This format, man. Alright, well I can get Incineroar in here. Protect Annihilate and then Fake Out into something. But I'm on the back foot already. At least I know that I'm not giving it defense boosts, the Archaladon that is, if I Fake it out or Drain Punch it. And I will go for a Drain Punch here. If they switch to Basculegion, then good job them, they boomed me. Just drop my Incineroar. But I'll get Annihilate healthy again. And get some good chip into our Archaladon. And here, I think I can bring Primarina in, Terra Grass, so that they can't knock it out with Electro Shot. I don't think they click Hurricane into Primarina. Hopefully I'm right about that, and I can go... They are kind of threatening Wide Guard. Although if they have Tailwind, or excuse me, if they have Helping Hand, maybe they don't have Wide Guard. I think I can just Drain Punch, Terra Grass, Hyper Voice. I don't think they have Wide Guard if they have Helping Hand. They just go Weather Ball into Annihilate, so maybe they don't have Hurricane. But even if they have Wide Guard, they didn't click it. Terra Grass takes the Electro Shot, or Archaladon goes down. Single target Hyper Voice does a lot to Pelipper. Of course, if they have Hurricane, now is the time to show it, because I've got two flying weaknesses on the field. They also bring in the Salamence. It's the last turn of Tailwind. I'm going to double protect. We'll see what they do. I don't know what that Salamence wants to do. It's going to be almost certainly faster than both of my Pokemon, even after the Tailwind wears off, so if it's like Terra Flying Terra Blast or Dual Wing Beat or something, I'm in danger. The Salamence has Hurricane. Pelipper still seems not to. I don't know what its fourth move is. The good news is, at this point, their Hurricane can miss. I'm not confident that it will, but it can. And I'm going to Rage Fist into Pelipper and Moonblast into Salamence because I would love to deny them another Tailwind if I can. It's a little risky, but we'll see if they let me get away with this. Again, the dream scenario is that I dodge a Hurricane this turn. At least one Hurricane. But I think the Pelipper would have shown Hurricane by now if it had that, so I don't know what. It also hasn't shown Wide Guard. I don't know what it has. Draco Meteor. Oh, but we don't dodge, but we survive at 1%. Get rid of the Pelipper. Should get rid of the Salamence. Yeah. What do they have in the back? Basculegion. Okay. Nobody on my team wants to take a last respects, but I was about to say somebody's going to get an attack off here. I even could have thought about switching on to GG. GG. I don't know why. This is the Spectator again. Why is the Spectator saying GG? This person is an agent of chaos. Anyway, I could have thought about switching Mousehold in. It's immune to Last Respects. But then I'm giving up a boost in one of these two slots. I feel like what I was definitely going to do was just double attack the Basculegion. It could only KO one of my Pokemon, the other one would do big damage, and then I get Mousehold in to follow me. If it's choice locked into Last Respects, then that's GG. But even if it isn't, I don't think there was much hope for my opponent there. And here is Psyspam Sunrun. Yeah, this Illumise set is way too confused, because I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I'm not going to click Tailwind into this team ever. There's never any need. But I have Struggle Bug for this kind of team. But if I'm not bringing Illumise, there's no reason to have... If I'm not bringing Tailwind, there's no reason to bring Illumise. Then the Struggle Bug doesn't do anything. So that just wasn't the right call. I could even think about changing it to Corviknight or my own Salamence, but I don't know if I want to stop the video to do that. I made the team that I made. We'll probably just play the rest of this out with it. What do I do into a team like this? I absolutely bring Incineroar 100% of the time. I think I bring Primarina. Actually, you know what? I think I do bring Illumise, because not only do I have Struggle Bug, but I also have Rain Dance. So I can lead Illumise Primarina, set Rain Dance, especially if they lead Torkoal, get off a big Hyper Voice, Incineroar and Serperior. Do I bring Serperior to this? They have 3 fire types and an Amoonguss. I don't really like Annihilate Pure either, though, so sure, Incineroar and Serperior in the back. They lead Indeedee, Armarouge, and I'm just going to make the play. I'm going to Hyper Voice and Rain Dance. I'm sure they have ways to beat it like that. But... Okay, let's switch in Primarina out to Incineroar and let's click Struggle Bug. I'm okay with losing Illumise at this point, I think. Ooh, Terra Grass Armarouge. But that does nothing to Incineroar, knocks Illumise down to its Sash. I get the Struggle Bug off, and it's now super effective into both Pokemon, which is kind of nice. And they don't have any physical attackers. The closest thing they have to a physical attacker is Incineroar, so I feel pretty safe to just click Snarl, Struggle Bug. I mean, I probably don't get the Struggle Bug off, but... Oh, they go for Armor Cannon, so actually Illumise survives this turn, and I can get Rain back up. I do get the Struggle Bug off. That Armarouge is looking very low, and I mean, what is the downside of just clicking Snarl again and Rain Dance? What is stopping me from doing that? So just as I was talking about dropping Illumise from this team, it actually kind of pays off in this game. And hey, you love to see that. And my bad if it's pronounced Illumise. I don't know. Not trying to disrespect it. Okay. So they can win the Weather War if they want, but I've definitely made things harder for them at this point. I can get Primarina back in here. They get the Blood Moon Ursaluna. Is it worth preserving Incineroar? I'm not sure. I mean, it beats Indeedee and Torkoal, so it's probably worth it. I'll switch to Serperior, and I'll protect Primarina to stall out the last turn of Trick Room. We'll get Indeedee back in. Yeah, they can win the Weather War now, but I feel like my bug did what it had to do, and they Blood Moon into the wrong target. So now, I can go for a Leaf Storm. They can redirect it if they want. It's going to do a lot of damage to something, and I can Hyper Voice. And okay, they nerfed the Hyper Voice with the Sun, but Torkoal took so much from Leaf Storm, and it's going to drop to Hyper Voice. Primarina finally gets its boost. They do get the Trick Room back up. That is a problem, but is Ursaluna gonna beat both my Pokemon here? They can redirect this if they want. Blood Moon into Serperior, knocks it out. That makes sense. But Hyper Voice still does so much damage, even in the Sun. And now, I get Incineroar in. They don't have Psychic Terrain. Do I Fake Out into Ursaluna, which could be redirected? Or do I just knock off? Or Snarl? I'm gonna Snarl and Hyper Voice. Yeah, okay, they do redirect, but also they just knock out Incineroar here, but they've still done no damage to Primarina, and at this point neither one of their Pokemon takes a Hyper Voice. It would be nice if this were the last turn of Trick Room, so maybe I could have played this a little slower, but it's hard to say. I'll Protect here. I don't think it'll make any difference, but we'll see. Helping Hand. Actually, wait, they go Blood Moon. Didn't I wonder in my last Reg H video whether Tinkaton could use Gigaton Hammer again after using it into a Protect? Now I have the same question about Blood Moon, and I don't know the answer. I haven't Terra'd, but there's no point at this point. Can they Blood Moon here? Apparently not, because they click Earth Power. Primarina survives, and the Protect pays off. So I don't think it would have taken out Blood Moon. So protecting there was absolutely the right call. Primarina pulls through, even in the sun. So Primarina is looking pretty good, huh? Superior is very strong, it does a lot of damage, but I'm seeing issues for it in the meta. But I can see why so many people are using Primarina. Probably sounds like a silly statement by the time this video comes out, but like I said, I'm recording it pretty far in advance. It's still early days in this meta. Venusaur, Torkoal. How many games have I lost so far? One? I think so. Venusaur, Torkoal, Porygon 2, Incineroar, Kommo-o, and another Blood Moon Ursaluna. So this is Sun Room again. And honestly, I think Illumise kind of proved itself into this composition in the last game. I might be down to lead that and Incineroar. It does open up vulnerability to Kommo-o, though. Kommo-o is just hard to deal with. Because, yeah, Primarina threatens it, but it's going to have a Terra type for that. And then what's it weak to on my team? Annihilate? And then at that point, I've talked myself into bringing Incineroar, Illumise, Primarina, Annihilate. That doesn't seem like a great mode. It kind of feels like something has to give. Actually, I think that mode's alright. I think we can just do that. Let's lead Primarina, Illumise again. We'll bring Incineroar and Annihilate in the back. Maybe this will be the game where I wish I had a powerful Leaf Storm to click at the end, but we'll see. I kind of want to just Terra... Actually, I think what I should do is protect Incineroar, or protect Primarina and switch out to my Incineroar. I was going to say I kind of want to just Terra Primarina, but the Fake Out is an issue here. I don't want to Terra Illumise. That doesn't feel like a good use of my Terra in this game. And of course it doesn't have Protect. Honestly, I haven't clicked Tailwind a single time. Maybe I don't need it. Or maybe I could drop Encore. I haven't clicked that either. Maybe I could get Protect on Illumise somehow. Anyway. I kind of want to just Terrastallize Primarina right now. Maybe that's unwise, though. But it would give me a second Sleep Powder immunity on the field. I could get off a Hyper Voice, threaten the Incineroar. It does open up a liability into Torkoal later is the thing, but I think I'm just going to go for it. Let's be aggressive here. And I'm going to click Snarl, because that's strong into almost anything that switches in. Terra Water Incineroar, so much for doing big damage with this Hyper Voice. I go right for knockoff into my Incineroar, so they can put that to sleep now if they want. I don't want this Porygon 2 around, so let's try to knock off and Moonblast into it. If I can deny them Trick Room, that's probably pretty good at this point. Although if they brought Venusaur and Porygon 2, maybe they have Torkoal in the back, so they can still get me with a Chlorophyll mode, potentially. But let's see. Right for Flare Blitz into Primarina, makes sense. Porygon 2 survives and gets the Trick Room. That sucks for me. I'm gonna try to get an Annihilate in here, because I have to get something going, and Primarina is not doing it at this point. Icy Wind in Trick Room. Interesting choice. maybe they'll set up my Annihilate for me. That U-turn is a start. There's the Ursaluna. I'm gonna go back to Incineroar. And I'm just gonna go for a Drain Punch into this Ursaluna. I need damage on it. Go right for Blood Moon into Annihilate, but it doesn't KO. Doesn't do too terribly much. And here, I can fake out the Ursaluna, which I will do, but since I think it's going to protect, I'll try to get some more recovery by Drain Punching into the Porygon 2. Maybe I'm missing a chance to set up Bulk Up on Annihilate, but I really have to keep an eye on its HP here in front of this. Actually, no, you know what? Because I can fake out Ursaluna, and then next turn I can protect. So Annihilate is okay here. Actually, I get a free boost from the Defiant there, so suddenly, in hindsight, I do like... Actually, I get 2. So suddenly, in hindsight, I do like... 1.5, you could say. So suddenly, in hindsight, I do like the Drain Punch play more, but oh well. I don't see much of a threat into Annihilate at this point, so... What is to stop me from just clicking Parting Shot into their Incineroar slot and Drain Punch into Porygon 2? They could switch Venusaur in, it resists Drain Punch, but it's still going to take damage, and Ursaluna would drop. What Pokemon will I get in here? They didn't bring Torkoal, so I don't have to worry about Chlorophyll stuff. Let's bring Illumise in. They knock off my Annihilate. That is actually bad, because that turns off its passive recovery. They also can Sleep Powder it now. I'm just going to click Struggle Bug and Protect. Ideally, Venusaur goes for something other than Sleep Powder. Illumise survives this turn, and it can click Encore next turn. You never know on the ladder. Nice Struggle Bug crit. They do go for Sleep Powder, unfortunately. And just right for Flare Blitz. Well... Let's go back to my Incineroar. And try to get a Rage Fist off into Venusaur. They could miss Sleep Powder. It happens. Oh, they do! Let's go! Who's coming in? Nobody wants to come in. Nobody wants this Drain Punch that's coming out next turn. Yeah, that doesn't want the Drain Punch. Incineroar. They boost my Annihilate again. And I feel perfectly free to just fake out Incineroar, I guess, and Drain Punch Porygon 2. It's a better KO. It doesn't have its item anymore. So there's no way it takes this. Yeah, what am I even talking about? Yeah, and then they get Incineroar back in, but now they get Annihilate to +6. They can't set Trick Room. They can't fake out Annihilate. Ursaluna just drops to a Drain Punch. Simple as that. I'll just knock off to chip their Incineroar. They'll probably fake out my Incineroar, I'm guessing. No, they don't. They try to get rid of the Annihilate. Maybe with a crit. That would have worked, but doesn't work here. And that is GG. Forfeit. Okay. Invalid choice. Can't do anything. The game is over. I guess I selected a move or something just as they forfeited. I don't know if I've ever seen that showdown message before. So hey, this team is... You know, Superior is not doing very much, if we're being honest. My opponent has a Superior. Maybe they know something I don't. But I feel like I'm seeing the limits of Superior in this meta. But, I mean, we already knew, I think, that Primarina and Annihilate are very strong. Again, I'm recording this way in advance, and we already know now that Primarina and Annihilate are very strong. Those two are coming through, as is Incineroar. What do I do into this? I think I lead Incineroar for sure. Cover the Psy Spam mode. And next to that, I could lead my Superior. And then bring bring Primarina and Illumise. Let's just leave the Mouse Ape in the back. I can set Tailwind if I really want. I can Encore something. I have Struggle Bug if that's ever useful. I don't know necessarily what Primarina does in this game, but it's a strong Pokemon, so it does strong Pokemon stuff. And if the Armarouge isn't an issue, then Terra Grass is pretty good actually into their Superior and Blastoise. I still haven't Terrasalized Superior, have I? Well, I'm not gonna force it. Okay. I mean, I think I can just fake out the Murkrow and Leaf Storm the Blastoise here. Maybe it's Terra Ghost Murkrow, but this looks like a pretty strong opening play. Even if they switch Blastoise out into, like, Armarouge, I get Superior to +2 with little to no downside that I can see. They could get Tailwind if it's Terra Ghost Murkrow, or even, like, I don't think you would ever run Covert Cloak Murkrow, but if they are doing that for some reason. But this looks like a very strong and safe play at face value. And look at that, we got 3 starters on the field, 1 of each type. This really is starters the meta, huh? Starters the format. I feel like there's got to be a good, well, maybe good is a strong word, but an interesting pledge team to be found in this format. Oh, Ice Beam. Okay, that's actually very dangerous. How do I deal with that? I think I Parting Shot Blastoise, protect Superior, I get Illumise in, I can match their Tailwind if they set that here. And then I can just like Terra Blast the Blastoise. That sounds kind of fun. Superior takes more damage, or excuse me, Incineroar takes more damage than I'd like. But yeah, I can match their Tailwind here and even offset it by 1 turn, unless they taunt my Illumise. If they get me with that, then fair play to them. But I'm going to go aggressive here. I'm going to click Tailwind and Stellar Terra Blast and Blastoise. Just as I said that I hadn't used it yet, we're going to try to use it here. Hopefully they don't stop me. They could have Taunt on the Murkrow. In fact, there's a pretty decent chance that they do. They also could have Haze, in which case goodbye Leaf Storm boost. But hey, hopefully this works out. Fingers crossed. Ah, there's the Haze. But I do get my Tailwind up, and I get the Terra Blast. What's it going to do? That's the Stellar Terra Blast animation? The Draco Meteor animation? That's interesting. Okay, well... hey, we gave it a go. And what do they do this turn about Struggle Bug, Hyper Voice? Struggle Bug will be strong into the Blastoise, Hyper Voice gives Primarina a boost. They could have their Superior in the back, and of course I can't Terra Primarina at this point. And actually, I mean, Superior is weak to Struggle Bug, but also will get a boost from it. So there is that, but we'll see. Guess I'm not used to playing against Murkrow now that it's not Reg A anymore. Yeah, Struggle Bug knocks out the Blastoise. Indeedee now will take a single target Hyper Voice. I didn't actually do that much, but if you give me the boost. And they don't have Superior in the back, they have Armarouge, which is pretty much best case scenario. They also can't Terrasilize it at this point. They can click Wide Guard if they have that. So I'm going to switch Illumise out to Incineroar instead of just Struggle Bugging again. Am I? Wait, hold on. They could do Wide Guard Trick Room if they have that. If they do that, then I'm better off switching to Incineroar instead of clicking Struggle Bug. Okay, that feels like a safer play than Struggle Bug Hyper Voice here. They just protect Armarouge. Yeah. Yeah. Bringing Incineroar in was I think the correct call. I'm just gonna knock off into the Armarouge. Wait, no I'm not, because they can use Follow Me. So I'm gonna Snarl and protect Primarina. That'll give Primarina a better chance of surviving the Expanding Force. Do quick follow me. And expanding force, so no damage taken. Indeedee is gone. Armor Rouge is at -1. Actually, it's at +1 because it has a weakness policy. Oops. That's not good for me. Okay. I think I have to try to keep Primarina alive through the Trick Room turns, so I'm going to click Snarl and switch to Illumise. Knocks Armor Rouge back down to neutral special attack. Expanding Force will knock Illumise to its sash. Do they attack with Murkrow? They do, but into Incineroar, so Illumise gets through the turn. Which is what I want. Now I'll try to get a knockoff into Armor Rouge. They might let me. And I'm going to set Tailwind in anticipation of stalling out the Trick Room. At this point, even if they force Primarina onto the field after this turn, which I think they will, they can protect through the last turn of Trick Room. They have Aura Sphere. But Primarina gets in here, clicks Protect, and then I think wins with Hyper Voice. Let's see. They're thinking. Do they have something for this? They protect Armor Rouge. They set Tailwind. I don't think that changes anything. Maybe they're trying to stall out my Tailwind. In which case they'd need a double protect here. Could work. Odds in my favor. The Armor Rouge is faster than my Primarina anyway. Maybe it was a weak armor weakness policy set all along. It did have the weakness policy, but Murkrow is not going to win at this point. We can just Moonblast it and take this game. Alright, let's go get another one. Sinistcha, Sableye, Mouseape, Basculegion, Goldengo. This looks like a nightmare. The Sableye for sure has Rain Dance, right? What's the Sinistcha for? I mean, obviously, Hospitality. Yeah, that's what its ability is called. And Rage Powder. Still kind of feel like you'd be better served by an Amoonguss here, but let's try Superior Lead with Primarina. Let's just put pressure on them right off the bat. I'll bring my mouse hold, I think. And Incineroar. I don't know if that makes sense. Let's see. Kind of feel like I need these two to put in work right away. Sableye, of course, gets Fake Out, but I can't Fake Out both of my Pokemon at the same time. So will they give me a Leaf Storm or a Moonblast? Actually both, because they quick Light Screen. This should still do a lot. Oh, it almost KOs. Gives it a boost. But that Annihilate is now low. I feel like I try to get rid of the Annihilate here, but I also cover for... Actually, they can get me with Quash. But also they can protect Annihilate. I'm gonna Leaf Storm into Sableye and click Hyper Voice. Yeah, Annihilate does protect. They disable my Leaf Storm. So much for that. And I'll just Dragon Pulse into Annihilate and Hyper Voice. Terra Water. Uh-oh. Oh dear. They can protect and Trick Room now if they want. Let's bring in the mice. There's no way Annihilate doesn't protect here, right? I'm gonna cover for it anyway by clicking follow me. Oh, I thought they were gonna set Trick Room. They do protect though. Terra Blast the Sableye. Get the boost. That animation is still kind of throwing me a little. Sableye gives them fake out pressure, which I think I overcome by just protecting both of my guys. They might not have fake out on this. Bring Sinistra back in to heal the Annihilate. This is looking a little rough. Are they going to protect Annihilate again? Well, I think I have to make a call here, so I'm going to try to Leaf Storm into the Annihilate. And follow me. That does protect. That's rough. On the other hand, the Sinistra is not much of an offensive threat. They do get Life Dew here, but what are they doing about this Leaf Storm? Well, I guess just tanking it, because they still have the light screen up. But +3 Leaf Storm into a water type. Let's see. And of course, they can't redirect it with Rage Powder. I think, right? That's how Stellar doesn't turn that off on a grass type. Oh, I can miss Leaf Storm now. That'll work. They can disable my Leaf Storm again. I think they might want to, so let's go for Terra Blast, I suppose, into the Sableye, and I'll switch to Incineroar here. Yeah, they do disable Leaf Storm. Go for Matcha Gotcha. Doesn't do much damage, and doesn't get a burn. Okay. The Annihilate is going to protect. I'll Terra Blast into Sinistra and fake out into Annihilate just in case. Remember, this is safety goggles Incineroar. They can't get it with Rage Powder either. Yep. Ooh, almost KOs the Sinistra. Now I'll protect Superior and switch Mouse Hold in so I can quick follow me on the next turn. Block a Rage Fist, and I'll go for... I don't want to miss Leaf Storm. Oh, I've disabled anyway. Yep, just go right for a Terra Blast into Annihilate and quick follow me with Mouse Hold. They go for Bulk Up, but... so much for that. Look at his Superior stats. 508 special attack. They've got their Goldango here. I'm just gonna Terra Blast it. I don't want to... I thought about protecting and letting Mouse Hold take a Make It Rain, but that gets a lot less appealing if they go for Nasty Plot. I'll switch to Incineroar again. Oh, it takes the Terra Blast. I guess the Nasty Plot anyway. Do they Trick Room here? Nope, Matcha Gotcha. So, I mean, I still don't see a win con for them at this point. Terra Blast into Goldango and knock off into Sinistra. And yeah, that just picks up both their Pokemon. Perfect. So hey, Superior looked pretty good in that one, huh? Pretty good Superior showcase. I talked about seeing the limits of what it can do in this meta, but it may, you know, it may be able to do something here and there. Ooh, Dozogiri. Gonna be honest, I thought about that less than usual in the builder. I did consider, it was the main reason I considered Charm on Lumise, but of course I didn't go for that. Dozogiri is a problem. Let's lead Superior and start blasting. I don't know if I beat Dozogiri with this team. It's possible that I just don't. We'll bring Incineroar. We will bring Incineroar, but we won't lead it. And... muscle. Or, again, redirection support. Okay, they lead Mouse Ape mode. I'll Leaf Storm the Annihilate if they let me, otherwise the Mouse Hold. I'll just quick Hyper Voice. Oh, they do let me. Doesn't do a lot, though. I get their beat up here. Maybe I needed to Moonblast Annihilate, but honestly I thought they would click follow me. But okay, they didn't have to. I got my mice here. Go for another Leaf Storm into Annihilate, and I'm actually just going to protect the mice. And hope that they read a follow me. Ah, okay. Population Bomb? No, taunt into my mice. Well, the good news is I still have the follow me option this turn. They can also quick follow me if they want, but they can prove it. Okay, nope, we pick up the Annihilate with Leaf Storm, get superior to +4. There's the Bozo. We'll just Leaf Storm that. Switch to Incineroar. They get their Dozogiri set up. If they have Oblivious, no, Unaware. If they have Unaware, then my boosts do nothing. They also don't degrade into that Grass type thing. I kind of want to just start clicking Stellar Terra Blast. It's less appealing when they're behind a sub, but I don't really have another tech anyway. I might as well start clicking Stellar Terra Blast and knock off, I suppose. Actually, Parting Shot is a sound move, so it probably goes through sub, doesn't it? Oh well. Knock off is good here, for sure. Don't want them getting recovery. And we'll go for another Terra Blast, and now we'll try to get a Parting Shot off. Yeah, Terra Blast is doing decent damage. They just take me out with that Wave Crash. And actually, I guess that would have been a good time to attack with Incineroar, though I don't think it KOs anyway. Okay, Mousehold and Incineroar against the world. I guess I'll just go for a knockoff and Population Bomb. Ideally, the Population Bomb takes out the Dondozo. And then I land the knockoff into Tatsugiri. Unfortunately, I can't Terra Water Incineroar at this point because I've already used my Terra, but those Terra Blasts did good damage to Dondozo, and if I win, they'll have had a major part in it. 3, 4, 5 Population Bomb hits. Dondozo goes down, knock off. Gets specs off of the Tatsugiri. That's probably good news for me. And what do I do here? I can Snarl and try to Population Bomb the Tatsugiri. Population Bomb the Mousehold instead. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hits. They drop a Draco into my Mousehold and not Incineroar, so Incineroar stays healthy and gets the Snarl off. And I can just go for the same play again, can't I? Population Bomb. I've missed Population Bomb. What a silly move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mousehold gone. Snarl after Muddy Water. Misses Incineroar. Doesn't KO Mousehold after the earlier Snarl drop. And this Tatsugiri is just done for at this point. And finish it off with Population Bomb. If they don't forfeit, they do forfeit. Okay. Wow. What a funny move. This is kind of a nostalgic format in a way, bringing things like Mousehold back into the meta. Okay, this person is Lucario and a Hydreigon. What do I think those do on this team? I really don't know. I don't know what they're cooking, except that, like, Nasty Plot Goldango is probably a threat here. And that's harder to just overwhelm than some of the other offensive threats I've been dealing with. Annihilate isn't good into it. Maybe this is the case for Terra Water Annihilate here. Terra Fairy Annihilate is weak to Goldango, whether I Terra or not. Primarina is good here just by virtue of being strong, and also threatening Fairy type damage into a couple of these. Let's lead Incineroar Primarina, and then I really don't know what to do from there, so I think I'm going to bring Superior Annihilate and just like bring all my strongest pieces and hope I figure something out. Okay, they lead Sableye Lucario. I don't know what they're cooking, and I can't fake out the Lucario. What can I do? I can knock it off. And just click Hyper Voice. They might get a fake out into something here. Or a Thunder Wave. Just go right for close combat with Lucario. Okay. Alright, Life Orb. Wow. Well, let's get my Annihilate in here. It could be Will-O-Wisp. No, it's not going to be Will-O-Wisp and Thunder Wave. Let's go for a Bulk Up and another Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice threatens both of these Pokemon after the Throat Spray boost, as long as I don't get fully paralyzed. They're really taking their time here, thinking this one through, I assume. Ooh, that's a strong Extreme Speed. I get both of my Pokemon paralyzed. Come on, Primarina. No! I don't want Primarina to take another of those, so I'm going to try to Drain Punch Lucario and protect Primarina. So far, so good. Do I get the Drain Punch? No, because I'm locked into Bulk Up. Alright. Well, I should still be able to get a Hyper Voice off. And then just hope that I win with Annihilate in the late game. Just keep that set up and hope it pays off. They go for Swords Dance now. Okay. Breakthrough Primarina. Please. Okay. Okay, Lucario's gone. Sableye is a problem with the Encore. Goldango is a giant problem. I just lose to Goldango, don't I? I don't see a way to beat Goldango. Hope I get a big Hyper Voice into it. That would be a start. Come on, Primarina. They're thinking again. It's not necessarily a good sign for me. Oh, I could have Moonblasted if I'd known they were going to do that, but I guess they take advantage of me not knowing they're going to do that. I don't get an attack off anyway. What does happen is the Encore ends, which means I don't think I Terrestrialize Annihilate here. I think I try to beat Goldango with a Stellar Terra Blast. Therefore, I'm just gonna try to Drain Punch and Moonblast. And if they redirect like that, hopefully I can knock the Clefairy out. Yep, okay, knock the Clefairy out. That's good. What's not good is that they can now get Thunder Wave into Superior because Annihilate has gone down. I also can't protect Superior this turn because they'll lock it into Encore, or lock it into Protect if I do with Encore. I'm just gonna go right for a Stellar Terra Blast into Goldango and a Moonblast. They probably have something for this. It might just be Thunder Wave and then big damage, but what else can I do at this point? They show the Fake Out finally. That's really hard to deal with, Fake Out and Encore on the same Pokemon. That's a good tech by my opponent. Anyway, I think that's loss number 2 of the video. And I can keep going, though honestly I'm getting pretty tired. But I'll get at least one more and see how I feel. Incineroar, Rillaboom, Volcarona, Torkoal. Wow, they rejected team sheets immediately. Porygon 2 and Mousehold. Okay, my Incineroar is strong into this entire team. There's no world where I don't bring Incineroar. I almost certainly lead it. Primarina is pretty good into this team. I kind of like Illumise for Rain Dance, and maybe Struggle Bug. I can lead Illumise Primarina, Incineroar in the back, and I guess I'll bring Annihilate. It could be useful into their normal types. Do they lead Torkoal? They don't lead Torkoal. But I'm just going to Rain Dance and Hyper Voice anyway. See what they can do about that. They go right for Quiver Dance. Hyper Voice does good damage still. And I'm actually going to click Rain Dance and Hyper Voice again, so that if they switch Torkoal and I still get the weather control. Terra Grass Volcarona, I should have known, huh? It just heals right back up. That's really bad. I click Struggle. I am going to click Struggle Bug, and I'm going to switch the Incineroar in. I thought about trying to make an Encore play, but I don't know that I can rely on that here. Struggle Bug at least weakens the Volcarona's damage output. They taunt Illumise here, so I'll just click Struggle Bug again. I'm okay with that, and knock off into Volcarona. You can keep boosting your defenses, but I'm not eager to let you boost your offenses. Struggle Bug knockoff looks pretty good again. I also can start clicking Snarl, and that'll weaken its special attack faster than it can boost as long as it hits, but I'll do more damage with knockoff, and that seems more valuable right now. Rillaboom comes in, but that seems okay. Actually, you know what? Let's go for Terra Ghost to Illumise. It's time. I think they want to fake it off, and I don't think I want them to. Terra Ghost. Did I say fake it off? I meant fake it out, but I called it wrong anyway. And that Flamethrower burn is unfortunate for me, as Illumise is now on a timer. Not that I think it lasts much longer anyway. I still just want this Volcarona out of here. But I think I'm okay with locking it into Flamethrower and going for a knockoff. Oh, never mind. The mice get back in. I'll go for one more Struggle Bug and knockoff. They can redirect the knockoff if they want, then it hits the mice. I'm okay with that. And at this point, I guess I'm trying to win with Annihilate. Which is a problem because I don't want to get it. I don't want it getting burned by Flame Body or Flamethrower. Unfortunately, they've done pretty well at getting their Volcarona's HP back up. Maybe I'm playing this too hastily. Like I said, I'm getting tired. What can you do? I'm just going to try to boost up and not let them do that. And then I think this all leads to me going for one last big hit with Annihilate and hoping that it doesn't get burned. Actually, Annihilate being taunted kind of throws that plan off. Just Drain Punch the mice, and I just keep Incineroar clicking Snarl. Don't let the Volcarona set up. Fishing for a burn. Not very happy if they get it. Get these mice out of here. The Volcarona its special attack is pretty low now, but knockoff is not going to do that much into it. I think I just keep clicking Snarl. But I'm definitely feeling kind of stuck, especially as they do get their burn there. That's probably GG. noticed their username, Reggie Eclectic. That's funny, I like that. Here's the Torkoal. Nightmare Pokemon to deal with right now. Try to keep Annihilate safe from the initial eruption, get a Snarl off into the Torkoal, but yeah, they knew how to play around that. Alright. Try to get some damage into the Torkoal, I suppose. As they probably fake out Incineroar here. They actually don't. They just go right for Woodhammer to Annihilate. Okay. Yeah, well... Keep Annihilate alive a little longer, and maybe I can get rid of the Torkoal with it. Torkoal switches out. Not great for me. Annihilate finally goes down. And I don't think Incineroar solos this, but we'll try. Oh, I still have Primarina, but not for long. Do I get the crit to end all crits into this Volcarona? I guess a crit would have KO'd, huh? But I don't get it. So they'll get rid of Primarina here, and I think that'll do it. Finally knock out the Volcarona, but it's too little too late. 1% Incineroar isn't pulling this off. They can knock it out with Fake Out or Grassy Glide from here. Oh well. I might look back and not be thrilled with how I played that one, but like I said, been recording this for over an hour, getting pretty tired. Good time to end the video. So, Serperior. It popped off in one of those games back there, but I definitely can see why it's probably not going to be one of the top threats in the format. Leaf Storm, contrary, Leaf Storm gets very strong very quickly, and that's what's good about Serperior, but a lot of the meta is really just not afraid of it. It might be a Pokemon worth experimenting with some more. I think it has potential. But I don't think it's going to be one of the very best. What I do think are going to be some of the very best are Incineroar, Primarina, and Annihilate. No hot takes there. Everyone knows that already. But they'll definitely be Pokemon to keep experimenting with as I go here. But that's it. That's the Serperior video. See you next time. Bye-bye, a go-go.